All right, so get ready because today we're diving deep into something pretty incredible, something that's like, well, universal and always fascinating. Love.
Yeah, love.
We're taking a deep dive into this document called lovede.pdf. It's basically like a guide to this powerful force.
It is a fascinating read, really. It even goes beyond like just the typical definitions and talks about how love shows up in all these different forms and then like the impact it has on everything from healing to art.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. We're going to break down this really complex topic and explore the different facets of love and try to understand how it really shapes our lives.
Yeah, and it all starts with this beautiful definition of love that the document gives as this like unifying energy, a core element of being human that just goes way beyond any boundaries. The document even suggests that love isn't just an emotion, like it's the essence of life itself.
Whoa, hold on. That's a huge statement. What does that even mean for love to be the essence of life?
Well, it seems to be pointing to love as this driving force behind everything that we do, from like the basic survival instincts to our highest aspirations.
Okay.
Why do we form communities? Why do we create art? Why do we strive for anything at all? It kind of a lot of times boils down to some form of love,
Okay.
you know?
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. So it's not just about romantic love, which is, I think, what most of us think of first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That leads us to the next section of the document, which breaks down all the different faces of love. And, you've got your classic romantic love.
Oh, romantic love, the kind that makes poets write sonnets, right?
Right.
And musicians compose entire albums. But does the document offer any insights beyond just the typical tropes?
It does, actually. It dives into how romantic love isn't just about, grand gestures or the initial spark. It really emphasizes the importance of those small everyday moments of connection. It even has this quote, and I think it's really great. It says, "Love is not about how many days, months, or years you have been together. It is about how much you love each other every single day."
That's so true. It's about making that choice, like
Yeah.
actively choosing to love your partner every single day.
Exactly. And this focus on like the everyday is something that carries over into the next form of love that the document explores, and that is self-love.
Self-love, the foundation on which all other love is built, right?
Exactly, you got it. And this is where it gets really interesting because the document doesn't just talk about bubble baths and self-care like in that sense. It actually delves into like the real psychological benefits of self-love.
Okay.
And it argues that it's directly linked to like resilience and emotional
No,
stability.
that makes sense. If you are constantly putting yourself down, it's going to be hard to handle challenges or form healthy relationships.
Exactly,
Yeah.
precisely. And the document even quotes Buddha on this. And the quote is, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection."
Such a powerful reminder. So we've got romantic love, we've got self-love. Where does the document take us next?
To a form of love that's often seen as the purest and most unconditional of all, parental love.
Ah, parental love. We all have some experience with that, either as the giver or the receiver.
Exactly. And the document goes beyond just describing it as unconditional. Like it actually gets into the biological basis of parental love.
Okay.
And it highlights how like hormones like oxytocin play a role in creating that deep bond between parent and child.
So there's a scientific reason why mothers feel that like overwhelming urge to protect their babies. It's not just sentimentality.
Exactly. And that primal instinct for protection is actually crucial for a child's development.
Oh,
It
wow.
creates that sense of safety and security that allows the child to explore the world and to learn.
Wow. I never thought about it that way. Parental love isn't just about hugs and kisses. It's literally like shaping a child's brain and their ability to thrive.
That's right. And speaking of thriving, the document emphasizes that another form of love is essential for human well-being, and that is friendship.
Friendship, often considered the most overlooked form of love.
Yeah, it is. And Lovely.pdf really dives into why it's so important. It goes beyond like just saying, oh, your friends are there for you.
Mm.
It talks about how true friendship offers a sense of belonging and validation,
Right.
which are crucial for, mental and emotional health.
And I really like how it's connecting these different types of love back to like our well-being. It makes the whole concept feel so much more grounded and relatable.
Absolutely. And it gets even more fascinating as it delves into the next type of love, which is unconditional love, also known as a guppy.
Okay, I've heard of agape love, but to be honest, I'm not sure I fully understand it. It sounds kind of like mystical, you know?
Yeah, it does have like spiritual connotations, but lovead.pds kind of brings it down to a level that we can all grasp.
Okay.
And it describes agape as a love that's completely selfless and free from any expectation of reciprocation.
So it's not about getting anything back. That's tough.
It is a high ideal, but the document argues that it's something we can all like aspire to. Have you ever, think about it, have you ever felt that like surge of compassion for like a stranger in need or offered help without expecting anything in return?
Yeah.
Those are glimpses of agape in action.
That's actually a really good point. I've never really like thought about it that way. It's making me think about how I even define love and how often like I expect something back, maybe subconsciously.
And that's the beauty of this deep dive.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really challenges us to look at love in new ways and maybe even expand like our own capacity for it.
absolutely. So we've covered a lot of different forms of love.
Yeah.
What other insights does lovey.pdf offer? Where do we go from here?
So from here, now that we've explored these, the many faces of love, the document shifts gears a little bit and dives into
Yeah.
like the profound impact love has on our lives. And it starts by examining this incredible healing power that love has.
Love as a healing force. Okay, that's interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah, it's not even just about like emotional healing, although the document definitely touches on that.
Okay.
It actually gets into like the physiological effects of love, and it even cites studies that show how like acts of kindness and connection can actually boost your immune system and reduce stress hormones.
Wow. So love isn't just this warm, fuzzy feeling. It's literally good for our physical health.
That's right. It's like a superpower we all have.
That's awesome.
And it goes beyond just like individual healing too. The document talks about how love can heal, communities and even bridge like divides between cultures.
Right, because when we approach others with love and understanding, it's kind of harder to demonize them or dehumanize them.
Exactly. The document highlights how empathy, which is like, a core component of love, allows us to see the world through someone else's eyes. And that just fosters so much connection and it breaks down those barriers.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that love can be such a powerful force for like social change, not just, personal growth.
And speaking of personal growth, the document also explores how love can inspire us to achieve great things.
Oh,
And it argues that many of like humanity's greatest achievements were fueled by love. Love for, a cause or an ideal, love for another person.
right. It's like when we're really passionate about something, we're more likely to, put in the effort and make sacrifices to achieve it.
Yeah, exactly. And that passion a lot of times stems from love.
Right.
The document even suggests that love can help us tap into like our full potential as human beings.
Ooh, that's a big claim. What does that even mean to unlock our full potential through love?
Well, think about it this way. When we feel loved and supported, we're more likely to, take risks, step outside our comfort zones and really pursue those dreams, right?
Right.
Love gives us the courage to like be our true authentic selves and to really strive for something more.
So love isn't just about feeling good. It's about like becoming better versions of ourselves.
Exactly.
I like that.
And that journey of becoming, it's not always easy. The document acknowledges that, love can be challenging and even painful at times.
Oh, for sure. Heartbreak, disappointment, loss. I mean, love brings up all sorts of difficult
Yeah,
emotions.
it does. But here's a key takeaway. The document argues that even through those tough times, love can teach us such valuable lessons about um, resilience, forgiveness, and, the importance of letting go.
It's like love is this like master teacher, guiding us towards growth even when it hurts.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And this idea of love as a teacher actually ties into the document's exploration of how love has been reflected in art throughout history.
Love and art, a timeless pairing.
Exactly right. And
Okay.
the document points out that love has always been like this major source of inspiration for artists, from the tragic romance of Romeo and Juliet to the mystical poetry of Rumi.
And it's not just about romantic love, right?
No, it encompasses all those forms of love. Think about how parental love is depicted in like countless paintings and sculptures,
Right.
or how friendship is celebrated in literature and film.
It's like art gives us this window into the human experience of love
Yeah.
and allows us to connect with something that's like universal and timeless.
Exactly. And the document goes even deeper and suggests that art can actually help us understand and appreciate, different facets of love that we might not have even considered before.
So it's not just reflecting love, it's actually illuminating it. It's
Exactly.
helping us see it in new ways.
Precisely. And that brings us to one of the most, I think, profound sections of love.pdf, where it presents love as like the ultimate truth.
Okay, now this is where it gets really deep. Love is the ultimate truth. What does that even mean?
Well, the document argues that love is more than just like an emotion or a feeling.
Okay.
It's like this fundamental principle that underlies all of existence.
Okay, so we're talking about like cosmic love now.
Yeah, that's right. The document draws on like various spiritual and philosophical traditions that view love as this unifying force of the universe.
Okay.
And it suggests that this love connects us all, even if we're not always aware of it.
Okay, that's a pretty mind-blowing concept. It's making me question my whole understanding of reality.
I know it's a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly inspiring. It suggests that we're all part of something so much bigger than ourselves,
Right.
and that something is ultimately rooted in love.
So it's not just about the love that we experience in our individual lives. It's about recognizing that love is like woven into the fabric of the cosmos.
Exactly. And this cosmic perspective on love actually leads to some pretty fascinating implications for, how we live our lives.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of those implications?
Well, it gets pretty practical in this last section, actually. It offers like some concrete steps for how we can cultivate more love in all its forms,
Okay.
starting with like the foundation, self-love.
Okay, that makes sense. We've touched on how important self-love is, but like, what are some specific things we can do to like nurture it?
Well, the document suggests practices like mindfulness,
Oh, okay.
where you really pay attention to like your thoughts and your feelings without judgment.
Yeah.
And it also talks about self-compassion,
Okay.
which is like, treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend.
Yeah, that can be tough though. We are often our own worst critics.
It's so true. But the document emphasizes that learning to be kind to ourselves is absolutely crucial. It even suggests things like setting healthy boundaries as a form of self-love,
Oh, interesting.
protecting our energy and well-being.
So it's not selfish to prioritize ourselves.
Now,
It's actually essential for cultivating love in other areas of our lives.
exactly. And once we have like that solid foundation, the document encourages us to express love more freely and intentionally to others. And it's about like, making those conscious choices, whether it's through like simple acts of kindness or words of affirmation or spending, quality time with your loved ones.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that love is an action, not just a feeling. We
Yeah.
have to like put it into practice.
Absolutely. We have to walk the walk.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of putting love into practice, the document highlights forgiveness as like a really key ingredient for both personal growth and healthier relationships.
Forgiveness. That can be a real challenge though, especially when someone has like really hurt us.
Oh, absolutely. The document acknowledges that, it's a process. It's not something you can just like flip a switch and do. And it's just starting with understanding,
Right.
like really trying to see the situation from the other person's perspective,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I can see how that could help shift our focus from like anger and resentment towards empathy.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the need to be right and choosing to move forward with compassion for, both ourselves and the other person.
That's powerful. Now, what about romantic love specifically? Does love.pdf offer any advice on like building and sustaining healthy relationships?
It does. It emphasizes, as many relationship experts do, the importance of like really open and honest communication.
Okay.
Being willing to really share your feelings and your needs with your partner.
Communication is key. We hear that all the time, but it's not always easy to have those like really tough conversations, especially if you're, afraid of conflict.
The document acknowledges that, but it encourages us to see conflict like as an opportunity for growth rather than a sign of failure.
Okay.
And it's just practicing, like active listening,
Yeah.
where you really try to understand your partner's point of view, even if you don't agree with it.
Right. That takes a lot of maturity and self-awareness.
It does. It's definitely a skill that takes time and effort to develop.
Mhm.
The document also reminds us that, romantic relationships just need like consistent nurturing. It's
Right.
not enough to just kind of coast along on autopilot.
Right. So it's about like making those conscious efforts to show love and appreciation, even when we're busy and have those like daily routines.
Exactly. It's those small gestures, those moments of connection that really strengthen that bond over time.
This is all great advice for like, our personal relationships, but what about love on a larger scale? Does lovee.pdf address like how we can cultivate more love in our communities and the world at large?
It absolutely does. It challenges us to kind of expand our circle of compassion
Okay.
beyond just our family and friends.
Yeah.
And it encourages us to see ourselves as part of, like, a global community,
Yeah.
interconnected and responsible for each other's well-being.
That's a big shift in perspective.
It is. But the document does provide some, like, tangible steps we can take. It talks about getting involved in our local communities, volunteering our time, advocating for social justice.
So it's about taking action to create a more just and compassionate world.
Exactly. And it also highlights the importance of, like, just simply treating everyone with kindness and respect,
Right.
regardless of, like, their background or beliefs.
Right, those everyday interactions, they can make a huge difference.
They really can.
Yeah, in how people feel about themselves and the world around them.
They do. And the document reminds us that even the smallest acts of kindness can create, like, a ripple effect. It inspires others to pay it forward and creates a more loving and harmonious society.
This deep dive into lovee.pdf has been truly eye-opening. It's given us so much to think about and like so many practical ways to cultivate more love in all aspects of our lives.
I couldn't agree more. It's been an inspiring journey exploring, like, the depth and breadth of this incredible force.
Before we wrap up, I'm curious, what's like the most important takeaway you've personally gotten from this deep dive?
Hmm. For me, it's this realization that love isn't just something that we receive. It's something that we actively choose to create.
Oh, I like that.
We have the power to be more loving in our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And when we make that choice, we not only transform our own lives, but we contribute to a more loving and compassionate world.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to embrace the power of love in your own unique ways. Remember, love is a journey, not a destination.
That's right.
And it's a journey worth taking. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Drive.